us. Welcome to Green Apple Books on the Park. My name is Car Johnson. I'm the event coordinator for Green Apple, and tonight I am very happy to welcome Roselle Lim as we celebrate her latest book and her young adult debut, Celestial Banquet. Let's give a hand for Roselle. Fabulous. Thank you so kindly. I'm so glad you all are here. Thank you so much. It's so nice to come out to a warm audience. Roselle is joined tonight by her publisher, Ayesha Curry. Let's give a hand for Ayesha as well. Fabulous. I'm going to ask you to clap and woo a lot more during this introduction. So be ready for it because I'm counting on you. Okay. Thank you for joining us here in person. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us online. Hello, online people. I'm waving to the camera if you can't see. Hello, online people. We're broadcasting from San Francisco. We open each of our events with a land acknowledgement. And so I would like to let you know that we are operating on unceded Ramaytush land. We think that land acknowledgement requires action, and so we encourage you to donate either your time or monetary means to an Indigenous organization. Each time you hear a land acknowledgement, we have details. We usually point people to the Ramaytush Land Trust, and we have details about them at the back desk if you're interested in how to participate in this project of rematriation. I have very brief business before I let these two take over and we get to the fun, exciting part of the evening. Now is a good time to silence your cell phones. If you have not already, please don't take a call in the middle of the event. That would not be appropriate. And if you need to, you can step out. That is no problem. Please do check out our full event calendar online at greenapplebooks.com. We have a really great season ahead of us, including the event that you are currently attending. If you already purchased a copy of Celestial Banquet, thank you so much. You are great, you rock, and you support fabulous literature, and you're my favorite person. So good job. If you do not, I don't hold it against you. I also like you too. That being said, this is a fabulous opportunity to have to not only purchase this book from an independent bookstore, which is what Green Apple is, and I think we do a pretty good job of bringing community literary things together, and not only that, you get to meet the author of the book, which is pretty spectacular. So I would encourage you to purchase a copy if you have not already, and Roselle will sign them at the end of the night. So how was the pitch? Okay, great. So I'm going to let you folks know now, too, that we will have, we're going to hear a little bit from the book, and then we're going to have hear a conversation between Roselle and Ayesha, and then we're going to go to audience questions. If you have not already picked up a note card from the back desk here, we have them. I'm also happy to run and hand one to you. If you think you might want to ask a question tonight, please grab a note card and a pencil and write your question down. And just before the audience Q&A, we will come around to collect them. So feel free to do that now. No one's going to take your seat. Go ahead and do it. You'll be fine. And we do want to hear your questions and what you think. So without further ado, I'm going to let these two take over, but I need to let you know a little bit about the authors that we have joining us. First, Ayesha Curry is a restaurateur, New York Times bestselling author, actress, producer, and entrepreneur. She is the founder and CEO of Sweet July. Sweet July, can we actually shout out Sweet July, who brought us these fabulous drinks this evening? Thank you, Sweet July. Thank you so much for making this an even yummier event than we could have imagined. Thank you so kindly. So she's the founder and CEO of Sweet July, her lifestyle and culinary brand empowering and celebrating women and BIPOC creators, which includes Sweet July Magazine, Sweet July Productions, Sweet July Skin, and Sweet July Books, which published most recently Roselle Lim's Celestial Banquet. Let's give one more hand for Ayesha Curry. And last but most certainly not least, Roselle Lim is the critically acclaimed author of novels Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune, Vanessa Yu's Magical Paris Tea Shop, Sophie Go's Lonely Hearts Club, and Night for Day. She is joining us all the way here in San Francisco. She lives on the north shore of Lake Erie and always has an artistic project on the go. Her young adult debut, Celestial Banquet, is the reason we are here tonight. Let's give one more hand for Roselle Lim.
Okay, I'm supposed to do a reading. Forgive me if I kind of speed through it. I'm going to read you something from the beginning of the book. Chapter 1. Inside the auction house, the air vibrated like a locust swarm. Kama, our local minor god, held court at the edge of the crowd, pushing off the followers trying to shower him with pricey culinary tributes. His magnetic, pupilless eyes sparked with their own energy. It was the draw of legendary ingredients that brought him here. Otherwise, it was rare to see him up at this time. The murmuring mass moved towards the podium for the day's prize. My boss, Tondo de Tal, watched on the balcony, reserved for the restaurateurs along with his rival, Lao Sung. I elbowed my way to the front of the crowd. A giant golden singing carp glistened in the dim dawn light, transforming the balcony gallery where the heavy purses of our city of Lupong's restaurateurs waited, fingers itching to spend and snap up the best haul from the incoming Luchin ships into a prismatic rainbow. Truth be told, it was mostly held by their assistants. The rich couldn't be bothered to rise before the scorching sun hung high in the sky. For the rest of us in the peninsula, coin wasn't going to earn itself if you didn't get up early. Someone would always be hungrier, ready to snatch opportunity from your hands. And the only way you can taste the faraway ocean was through the jewels Luchin fishermen harvested from its depths. Every shell cracked and fish gutted yielded the briny perfume of endless water. I raised my eyes to catch the signal my boss made. He tugged on his left earlobe to confirm the plan to acquire the carp. A female carp yielded a small number of eggs, and this particular rare species created a buttery, nutty roe that was prized by the nobility. The buzz swept under my skin. I might get to taste this miraculous fish for myself. If I won the auction today, it'd be served up over a bowl of 7 treasure congee at Tondo de Tal's flagship restaurant, the Majestic Isle, a glorious 2-story building serving as a tribute to his maternal Luchin Island heritage. Tondo de Tal thumbed his nose at the elite, poked prejudice in the eye, and won by succeeding as one of the 3 Luchin businesses on the mainland. He would demand an exorbitant price from the nobles for this dish. Of everyone I worked for, he was the only one who earned my respect. It also helped that he was once best friends with my baba. Workers moved to clear a tank of spiky purple eels to make way for the fabled carp, which was placed on a box of ice at the center of the room. All the prized goods in the auction house came with the adage, buyers beware. Everything was presented as is. The onus was on the runners like me to inspect the goods before purchase. With quick jabs of my pointy elbows, I jostled to dislodge 2 interlopers flanking me. Everyone wanted a closer look, but nothing was going to stop me from my examination. The carp scales shimmered, and its vacant eyes were glossy, indicating it was at the peak of health during capture. All eyes were on its distended belly and its promises of a cache. The last golden singing carp had sold 3 months ago, and it was male. It had commanded a steep price of 700 gold pieces. A female could fetch even more. I leaned closer, but was yanked back by my collar. Don't even think about it, Sai. I recognized that jerk's voice. Jun Feng was Lao Sung's runner on the floor. He was 7 years older than me, and had the temerity only a firstborn noble could possess. While many considered him handsome, I would beg to differ. I'd rather clean the public outhouses for a year than give him the time of day. Keep your hands to yourself, I smacked his arm away. Don't you have a doorway to darken or older women to woo? Are you jealous? He made a hasty confirmation signal to his employer above. I'm winning the carp for Lao Sung. Don't get any ideas. I snorted, craned over his shoulder to get a better view of the carp's tail, and caught sight of the vent. There was something about it Before I could examine it any further, Jun Feng suddenly tugged his ear, signaling that he had confirmed the carp's sex as female. Given Jun Feng's determination, the resulting price would be far too astronomical to risk, especially since it wasn't my coin to spend. My boss had taught me that value was universal, while price was driven by emotion. I caught Tondo's eye and scratched my left eyebrow. We'd bow out. His subsequent nod was almost imperceptible. Bidding began at a cautious 80 pieces.
The briny perfume of endless water. I feel like you've done such a great job with your descriptives in this book. Whenever I'm reading something, if I can't taste it by hearing about it or reading it, then I don't want it. And you've done such an incredible job. That was awesome. So thank you for that. I think it would behoove me not to explain how kind of I became involved in this beautiful project with Speech Live Books. It's really simple. So Roselle came to us, and I am obsessed with food. She is obsessed with food, but we share something else in common, and that is the fact that we're both from Canada. And so you combine those two things, I'm all in. And so I'm just so grateful that you've allowed us to be a part of this. So thank you very much.
Honestly, you were one of the reasons why I chose TIFF.
Wow.
In the beginning, because I was like, Ayesha, she's from Toronto.
Yes. My hometown. Should we get into some questions?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. This is a very broad question. Can you explain this book in your own words for brand new readers?
It's Iron Chef meets Hunger Games. That's the tagline on the book. But it's basically about like a girl who is like the underdog. And how exciting is it that you get to cook for the gods? Granted, if you presented bad food, you might die, but still, like it's a really interesting challenge.
So the pros outweigh the cons. So I do love the Hunger Games comparison. Now, did the Hunger Games inspire you while you were writing Celestial Banquet?
I think it did in that like the Hunger Games challenge the class system, which is like really like it's a story about have and have nots. And I wanted to explore that as well because, like, if you think about it, there are food deserts. And there are, like, access to really good food is limited by geography, by wealth, all of this. And I think that it's important to explore that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting when you read something like this or watch something, you're always like, we're not that far off from from being there. But it is such a high stakes, unique concept. And so how did you come up with the idea of combining kind of this divine competition with the culinary arts?
I loved Iron Chef. We're talking about the OG series that is in Japanese that's dubbed over.
Yes.
But it's just it's like fabulous. So I was like, if I'm gonna write a book, like a love letter, it has to be that, but increase the stakes, everything up, like turn the heat to high, have it like cook all of these like strange and magical ingredients. Have challenges. Let them catch the thing. Like, how exciting would it be, like, to have somebody either harvest, like, a field of corn or actually run after the chicken that they're supposed to be cooking? But
Yeah.
it's like having that active element into it.
Yeah. It's amazing. Okay, so I want to talk about the food in the book. What are your favorite dishes that Sai prepares?
Beef noodle soup. It's one of those things where Where, like, I've noticed that the weather here is kind of like that, it stays constant. Is it supposed to be, like, kind of coolish?
You always have
little
to have
bit
a
more.
jacket or a sweater with you.
Yeah. But, like, beef noodle soup is so good, like, in cold weather. It's also good in hot weather. It's like an all-weather kind of thing. I really like that. And, like, an omelet, the omelet dish that I have in there as well. Like, one of the things that I used to make, one of the first things that I've learned to cook is fry up an egg, put it over white rice, add a ton of ketchup. And then mix it up, and you have kind of this, like, sweet, savory, like, dish. And it's very, very simple.
I think the ketchup thing's super Canadian. We put ketchup on everything. The world of Celestial Banquet feels rich and immersive. What East Asian traditions or folklore influence the setting and the gods?
In East Asia, in China specifically, there are three major belief systems: Confucianism, Taoism, and give me a second. Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. There we go. Three. I wanted to make three gods that are similar as well in the book: temperance, luck, and indulgence. So it's kind of a similar belief system. The mainland is mostly like East Asian inspired, because you have a lot of Korean, Japanese, and Chinese dishes. But then Mucha itself is more Southeast Asia, like a conglomeration of like Malay, Filipino, like just very different, like the spices and all of that. That's where the inspiration came from.
Very cool. If you could attend a real celestial banquet, what dish would you bring to impress the gods? You cannot say rice with a fried egg.
I would bring a Filipino soup called sinigang.
Oh.
It's the one where it has it's a sour soup, because it's traditional in the Philippines before refrigeration came in. Like, if you make something sour or pickled, it lasts longer.
Got it.
So this one has like radish and like sometimes tomatoes. My mom adds that in hers. Pork and veggies, and it's just like this sour. It's like a sour soup, and it's always comforting to me.
I love that. Is it almost like a dope? Is there a vinegar base, or
It's the tamarind.
Got it. So you've written adult fiction before, we all know. What felt different about writing for a YA audience? Did anything surprise you about this process?
It is, because I have a 15-year-old daughter
Mm-hmm.
at home, and like every day is a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster. It's up, down, like it's basically like hormones without like any layer. Like, when I say hormones, I mean like every emotion is just so much bigger. Every disappointment, every joy, it's just turned all the way up. And I remember being a teen and how everything was just a lot more intense. It's because you don't have age yet to kind of numb you. To numb you a little bit, like, from feeling these things. Like, I know with my kid, and I'm sorry, kid, if I'm spilling anything. Like, if she has a crush, it's like, oh my God, is he gonna look at me? But what if he does look at me? It's like everything is just, instead of like that one thing, it would be like 5 different options instead. And I really love that. And like, kids are allowed to make mistakes too. We forgive mistakes from children more than we do with adults. And I love that grace that's given to them. And honestly, adults should be given a little bit more grace too. But we give it to teenagers to just learn and like navigate the world. And that's the thing that I learned from writing YA, where if it's adult, you're basically fully like got things figured out because you have a back history. But with kids, you're just making that. You're still trying to figure things out.
So there's a lot of room for grace. Yeah. Were there any scenes or moments in the book that were especially fun or difficult to write?
For me, it's always the kissing. My adult books are very. There's a lot of authors who are like, yeah, I'm gonna put kissing and spice or whatever in it. I've always been like, okay, kiss. You know, when you're like a kid and you hold like your two dolls, you're like, okay, kiss. Like that. But then obviously as a job, as a writer, you have to make it a little bit more interesting than just
That's true. That's true. I wasn't expecting that. So I just have a couple more questions for you, but then we're going to get to the questions that you so graciously wrote a little bit ago for Roselle. So my last couple of questions. Do you cook for yourself? And if so, did your own kitchen adventures ever sneak into Sai's story?
It is. Because when I was learning how to cook, and you would know this, do not put anything cold into hot oil.
No.
Unless you want to see a science experiment like the volcano exploding. That's just a big no-no. For me, a lot of the cooking scenes, I remember cooking with my grandma. And like, it's just watching her, because the thing with my grandma is that she insists on like, you have to participate. It's not that, oh, you want to eat the chicken. You want to eat the chicken. Why don't you sit? No, she's like, you want to eat the chicken. You're going to learn how I prepare it and how I cook it. Sit with me, learn. And that gave it a lot more meaning.
I love that. Well, what do you hope readers take away from this beautiful, delicious, a little salacious book?
That the underdog can win.
Yeah.
And that when you're young, you can change the world. When you're older, you can too. But like the idealism is much more like amplified when you're young, and you think that when you look at the world, when you're young, you look at the world, you don't look at it with crusty, salty like eyes. You look at it going, okay, this is how it is now. I don't want it to be like this. What do I need to do to make it be this state that I want, like where everybody can be better off?
Yeah.
But when you're an adult, you look at things and you go, oh.
Yeah.
How much work is it gonna take? Oh. And then you procrastinate.
Very true. So it's like opportunity, hope, grit, but the willingness to get it done with like a certain innocence. Yeah. Well, should we do some audience questions? Let's do it. Thank you. All right. Oh, I wish you would have put your names on here. Okay. Someone asked, how do you decide what the next story to write will be?
It's whatever catches my attention. The best part about writing is that initial idea, because it's all yours. No one has to see it. It's like you're walking around with a big secret, and like that's the most exciting thing. For my books, because food plays such a big factor into them, I make a menu before I write.
Oh, I love that.
But it's like the menu will cover the themes of the book. For instance, I will write like, if it has like 5 different comfort foods, okay, why are the comfort foods there? Is it because you're on, like the main character is under a lot of stress that needs these kind of things? It's like every single dish that you choose, because food is food is one of those things that we take for granted that is a language on its own.
Someone asked me, how do I decide what to acquire? I think for us with Sweet July books, as for all of Sweet July, we look at 4 main pillars, and it's food, family, faith, and female empowerment. You check mark all of those boxes. And so I think it's really coming down to like what's needed in the market, who's like an incredible writer, who has a story to tell, who's engaging, and most importantly, who's nice and like beautiful to work with, and you're gonna want to sit down and talk to and listen to what they have to say. And so that's really important for us. Next question. Let's see. Oh, this one's for me as well, I think. It says, as a publisher, do I see video games or film of this, I'm just gonna say happening, animated, or regular? I think it would be a dream to turn Celestial Banquet into a Hunger Games-esque live action film. I think it's too good for series. It has to be a film, and I think it would just be so incredible. But that's never up to somebody like me. That's always up to the author. So that's an author question. So I'm going to throw it back to you and say, would you ever want to see this as a film or TV or?
I could see it in both formats, but I could also see it as a video game. Just because how fun, like, I played Cooking Mama, and like, instead of like, you have Mama with her flaming eyes of disappointment, you would have Kama instead, with his flaming eyes of disappointment. So I could see that, and I think it'd be really fun.
That would be really cool. Yeah. Let's see. Wait, are there any more questions for Roselle? These ones?
Unless anyone has one.
Okay. Well, I think I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and thank you for having me be a part of this. I'm excited for my girls, especially, so my oldest is turning 13 this weekend, and I can't wait for her to dive into this. I think it's just gonna ignite her excitement for reading, which is necessary sometimes with a young teenager. And so just thank you so much for lending your creative genius to the world. I know this is probably like another baby to you, so just thank you for, and I have to talk about the cover art too. I just think this is so gorgeous. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Sija Hong did a fantastic job.
Wow, gorgeous. Do you have anything else to say?
If you want to write. I understand everybody's busy and, you know, there's other things to do, but even if it's just stealing 2 minutes to just even type a few words on your phone, like it's possible. Like I had my 3rd grade teacher told me after I immigrated to Scarborough that my English would never be good enough for writing. So,
wow.
So it's one of those things where I am my father's daughter, therefore pettiness runs in the blood. And yeah, like let it, like whatever it takes, let it fuel you.
Yeah.
Whether it be like the chip on your shoulder or whether it be like just this driving need to create.
It's beautiful.
Is it okay if I do like a selfie of me and Ayesha in front of the crowd?
Can we stoop down?
And hold your books up if you have them.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, please go ahead. Can we have one more hand for Roselle Lim? And that's okay. Thank you.